Welcome back. A hiker is hoping his survival story can serve as a cautionary tale for others. It's been more than 2 decades since the man who was stranded on an Oahu trail. But as KFTV4's Ali Dukelow reports, the hiker hasn't yet fully recovered from that harrowing experience.
What was supposed to be a hike over the Dukelow Mountains led to days of being stranded for Daniel Rasmussen. Now, 25 years later, he's still surprised he made it out alive, and he's returned to Oahu to finally come to terms with the experience.
I didn't think I'd ever get rescued. I thought I would die up there.
Since getting his second lease on life, Rasmussen, who also goes by Dan Martin, his middle name, has traveled the world, published 3 books, became an engineer for NASA, and started a rehab facility for zoo and circus animals.
I have a different view of life and a new respect for life.
But more than 2 decades ago, his life was almost cut short. Now 45 years old, the Texas resident recalls the harrowing hike that changed everything.
It was a really scary time.
20-year-old Rasmussen was a Navy sailor stationed at Barbers Point, and after a year on the island, had become an avid hiker.
I'd never gone on this particular hike. I'd gone on several other hikes around Oahu.
The planned solo trek was from Puamoho Trail down to Malaikahana State Park. But things took a turn when he lost track of the trail and his phone was destroyed after getting wet.
The path disappeared. I was hacking through jungle.
After hopping down several waterfalls, he says he eventually made his way to the top of Sacred Falls.
Got to the top of Sacred Falls, looked over, I couldn't see the bottom. I saw clouds. There's no way I could jump that.
Rasmussen ran out of food and relied on river water.
I started hallucinating and just becoming delirious.
All he could do was wait, and after more than 3 days, his prayers were answered. A tour helicopter spotted him and called for Honolulu fire crews to airlift him out. He was then treated for minor injuries.
And then that started the mental recovery from there.
The scars Rasmussen still hasn't healed from are the ones no one can see. He says over the more than 2 decades, his memory of the experience has faded. But for the past 8 months or so, he's experienced post-traumatic stress from the incident.
It's hard for me to see that in him.
Luckily, he's gained a new hiking and a life partner along the way.
It's incredible.
Julia Vang and Rasmussen met at the beginning of the pandemic. When she heard his story,
I was flabbergasted. I was like, I can't believe you're here.
But he is, and now he's ready to confront the source of his troubles.
Come full circle.
Rasmussen's learned the lessons he hopes to impart to fellow hikers.
Research, definitely a couple phones and a partner. That's what I would have done different.
He's also offering his gratitude to the Honolulu Fire Department.
That gave me a second chance of life.
And now he has someone to share it with.
Oh, I love you too.
Ali Dukelow, KITV4 Island News.